This is Finality Radio. Welcome. Tony Fresco. This is Gene Altador, known as Tony Fresco in the rap game. So tell me about who you are, your influences, where you're from.
All right. So my name is John Altador. I know it's Gene. It's not your fault. I am son of two immigrants, and I grew up playing soccer, playing the piano. And one day I just started writing music, and pretty much a decade later, the world has not recognized me.
Was there one artist that particularly inspired you to do that, or like any moment in your life, or was it just kind of spontaneous?
Um, Michael Jackson for sure, because I remember I used to like look at his dance moves in slow motion and try to like do them, but I can't, I'm no Michael Jackson. I can't. So I stopped doing that a long time ago. But as far as like an artist in like the newer era, I would say Millionaire, Lil Wayne. Um, that's about it for now. Those are like the two artists that I really stuck with. Besides like my casual favorites like Kidding and Rose. I don't know. I listen to pop music, so I can't really have this type of thing.
Cool. What's your approach? So how do you go about making your music now? So do you write the music and then go into the studio, or is it kind of a continuous process?
So like, I have multiple like approaches. Because I write in general, like I literally sit there and I might write for like an hour or two, no beat in mind, just have like my ideas and jot it down. But I don't go into the studio ever just to freestyle a song. That's crazy to me. Um, Usually I try to make sure my work is ready so I'm not really wasting time. So I really spend more time preparing the music before I even create it.
Cool. And who makes your beats? Do you make them yourself, or do you kind of chop them around, or do you have a favorite producer you use?
All right. So I do produce, but for others, I haven't produced one of my own songs. I actually co-produced my latest song that I have released, which is Floating Part 2. My favorite producer right now has to be it's Contraband, but that's only because my other favorites haven't really been active as far as like putting out their beats on like BeatStars or like SoundClick or YouTube even like live beats, Johnny Giuliano, even Taz Taylor. He produced for like he produced for me, but I used his instrumentals in the past. But I have like I don't have like a favorite like I have a favorite sound that I like, and if I hear it, then I'll write to that beat or make a song to it if I'm writing to a beat at all.
Right. So what kind of sounds do you typically gravitate towards? I know you use a lot of cool like organ sounds. Like is that intentional? Like what how would you describe like what sounds you're attracted to?
Hard for me to say what like I just know what I gravitate towards. I like I'm a big fan of Harry Potter, so if you've heard some of his like past songs, you might hear the cinematic sound of it, like the high pitched bells, or it kind of sounds like when you play a wine, when you play like with a wine glass with water on it, it's like a very high pitched sound. Or I even like the dark sounds also, but I don't really like anything that's aggressive. I like mellow sounds. I don't really try to trigger aggression in my audience. Just more about being mellowed out, chilled out.
Cool. So this is DJ Harp. His name is DJ Harp in the chat, but his real name is Alroy. Um,
Thanks.
so I wanted to kind of introduce him and see if he has any questions to ask.
Yeah, my pronouns are they, them. Um, the message that you're conveying with your music is actually very uplifting, and a lot of the YouTube comments are really enthusiastic. You got some really devoted fans that they don't seem to be specifically rap oriented. Like they're like, I'm not even a fan of rap, but I'm really enjoying this performance. So what kind of what are your motivations to uh keep these fans listening?
Um, Thank you for asking and thank you for listening to it. My motivation is I want them to keep coming back more, but I want them to understand that even though it is the hip hop or rap that I promote as my music, I'm not really just a rap songwriter or a rap artist. I feel like that's how the world, that's the box the world put me in. You know, like I don't really consider myself a rapper. I'm more of like an artist, but like I'm not really trying to go from lane to lane. So I stuck it into one packaging of like a rap genre. But so like my motivation to keep coming back is I just want to see if they want to see me grow, if they want to grow with me. Because a lot of like supporters of mine come and go, and I don't blame them because maybe it's not what they want anymore. But if they stick around, they'll see like the progress. It's not really noticeable when you look at the social media numbers, but it's a
Oh
lot.
no, I disagree. It, for me, what stuck out was, in terms of sticking around for social media, like you still have a Tumblr, which I think is awesome, and it's
Yeah,
relatively, up to date. And every Mark and I actually started off with Reverb Nation, and we love Reverb Nation. And to the devoted fans, I think sticking to that is commendable. I think that's the right word. Um, and that was one of the main reasons why we really wanted to have you on this show and have you interviewed, um, because your spirit it feels like very relatable, and we love to see that in this modern day where social media sites just kind of drop off because of corruption or whatever, but you've stayed true to that, and I just wanted to share appreciation.
thank you, thank you. Crazy thing is about my Tumblr. Sometimes in my stories, I might use a Tumblr post, but I stopped doing that because it's hard to credit the actual creator of it. So like you can actually like download the picture and post it, but half of the time the Tumblr creators don't have their Instagram and their Tumblr. I don't know why. I guess they don't want to cross promote platforms. But people start thinking like, oh man, are you serious? You're out there on a jet or something? But it's really just like I want them to visualize it. Like that goes back to what you were saying for motivation. Like my favorite artist, I like Wiz Khalifa, but at the same time, like I don't really want to promote heavy smoking or anything, even though I have in the past, because that's what the target audience at the time wanted to see. They wanted to see, oh, okay, so what's your favorite strain it is? Or, like what's your preference of that? And like it took me to really get back with myself instead of just being around the scene a lot. Understand that they watch what I do and they might want to do it also. So like even though like I've heard that happen, like like fucking the giant cloud, like that's not really something I want to keep pushing for my audience. The same thing, I want to promote healthy lifestyles, like drinking water, something that's not gonna corrupt them as much, but they're probably not gonna want to promote that as much as me promoting the song of me blowing you clouds of vape smoke or whatever. Hold up 1 second.
Hey, Albert, I think
One
you're
one
muted.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, one question. Oh, what? So are you based in Atlanta?
Yes, that's the city that's closest to me. Yeah, I'm a Georgia resident.
Nice.
Cool. So you performed
So
in Georgia 3 times, right? That's what Alvarez research led us to believe. Do you plan on performing in Philly at all or worldwide, or what's your plan on performances?
All right. I perform a lot. I just haven't updated my Reverb Nation, if that's where you're getting
Yeah.
the okay. Because I haven't kept up with my actual like touring dates on my Reverb Nation. I usually just post a show on my story, but I really don't mind where I perform as long as, like the terms are right. Like I don't expect it to be like some promoter going above and beyond for me, but I would at least want to be in front of a crowd that would be able to appreciate my music. And that's anywhere, not just Philly, not just, even if it's, I don't know, a UFO somewhere, I'll do it. Not limiting it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. You ever think about touring or what or start to like
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on that?
I think about it all the time. I just don't have the knowledge of how to really do it. So far, I'm just receiving opportunities via email or like in person to come perform. But like as far as having a system in place to actually tour, like that's not something I have any knowledge of at the moment.
Cool. Well, that comes in time, I think.
No, yeah, I think it would be really worthwhile. There's a lot of indie venues. I don't know. Do you identify as indie?
Yeah, I would say so, but like they want to put me in like a pop rap genre, and I'm not sure if that's like really what fits it. Because I wouldn't say it's the same style of music, but it's got a similar sound over the years. I just perfected it a little bit more as far as like the quality and um, really figuring out what my target audience is. That's what I really fine tuned. But like, I don't really like the genre. Like, it's just like, to me, I feel like it's just me songwriting and vocalizing it right. But it's the style of rap. But yeah, I would consider myself indie because I'm independent. Not like, because I've heard other indie artists that are, like indie can have all types of like genres. So like you might hear acoustic indie, or that's why I don't try to say indie. But yes, I am independent as far as like the music goes.
So it's okay if we change our name to Fresco Public Radio?
You would like to, but it'd be better if you, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like you can't just dedicate it to me. Like I'm sure there's like plenty more artists that are gonna, motivate you to do these. But yeah, I don't mind. It'd be better if it was Tony Fresco, because there's a lot of frescoes out here now. Like as long as I've been using it, I started off, I don't know, it was probably like, I'm not gonna say I'm the first one to use it, because as the time progressed, I've seen more people pop up using the name also. But it's like when I go back and I look at my dates compared to their dates, like it's clear to see that I'm the one that originated it, but I can't really say that because somebody probably knew about me and created an account under my name. Like, I don't know, like it's just crazy.
Yeah, so
Yeah, strange days.
yeah, what did the name come from? Is that from something specific or
Yes, it is. So, all right. So, the fresco part, which is the funniest part of it all, is from when I was living in Haiti. Fresco is actually like Quick Trip's version of a slushy, the ice cold, like when you go, it's their version of a slushy, but everything is actually like natural. They get a real big block of ice and they shave it down, and they
Mhm.
have real syrup, like real like flavored syrup, like from coconut to cherry to like apple, like, and they pour it on there for you, and then they put pistachios in it. So that's where the fresco comes from. So like that was already established that I was going to use that before I even came in the States. But the Tony part, it really came from the movie Scarface, but not because of how he became Scarface. It's because he said something it stuck to me forever. It was like, you be happy with what you got. Me, I want what's coming for me. And that's the world. So when he said the world is yours, I really never really understood what it meant. Like I thought it just meant that, oh, I could have whatever I want just because I want it. But I feel like it was more of a manifestation thing. Plus, also, like that's just aside from it. That man drove a lot of nice cars. I like old schools. I like classic. Like even the shirts, like I don't know if you noticed in some of the pictures, I wear the open up shirts with the floral prints on them, the way that he did in the movie. I haven't put on the suits yet. Like I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like it's more to it than just like music, you know, like I really want to put more than just it's a good song. Like I try to put real things in it.
Yeah, your Left on Red album cover has a really cool car on it. I noticed. The what kind of car is that? Was that did you take a picture yourself or
No, that was actually um how can I explain? It was a stock photo, but I do graphic design also. So like I didn't take the picture. It was already taken. I just blended everything together. Like everything on the cover it was on a website that was giving free templates. So like I didn't create I didn't draw it out myself. I just put it all together, kind of like a real Photoshop collage. But I don't know what type of car it is. I want to say it's a Testarossa, but I do take pictures of cars. Like that's something I really want to like. I really want to start doing that in my covers also. Like just take pictures of like real cars, but I don't want to like get in trouble for like taking somebody's real car, putting it on my cover. They might want some type of like, hey, that's my car. I recognize that scratch right there. Like you know, like
Yeah. Do you know
probably?
about the Internet Movie Car database?
I do not.
It's kind of not that well known, but it's a real database of all the cars that have been in film and media, and it's pretty extensive. So if you take pictures of uh, cars you see on TV, you should submit it to the Internet Movie Car database.
Internet
And
movie car.
and now that Atlanta is the new Hollywood, um, you'll probably have a lot more opportunities to see them uh, riding around.
Right, right.
Um, do you have any aspirations to um, get into because your music videos are awesome. Would you ever want to be in like a feature length film or television show?
I actually would. I've been doing extras work lately, but I don't know. Like I would rather have my music in a movie, but if they want me in it too, of course. Like I'm not, I'm no Will Smith, but like I feel like I could do it if it was like given the opportunity, like I would accept it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like your music would be perfect for film. The licensing for that is always a fascinating thing. It's always ever changing. Which reminds me, how do you think that the industry has changed since you started versus where you are now?
Okay, so when I started making music, I had no knowledge at all of how it worked. I was just promoting the music to my classmates and my neighbors. But from when I actually started tuning in to like how to really get my music off the ground, what I've noticed is the internet is more important, even though like, all right, so like you still have to do the legwork in person. Don't get me wrong. Like that's still like the best way to network. But the internet is what connected you and I for this podcast, So like before somebody would have had to know somebody that knows you or him and give me your contact info. And, like I would have probably had to like drive a car to you or book a flight, or I would have had to have a label behind me to even be able to be sitting in front of you. Today's industry, the internet is like, it's almost like making a phone call, but you can actually like we have little computers in our hands that can literally like put us like to do this interview, for example. Like it's not about who's the biggest person physically in the area, because we all have different identities when we are really like promoting the music. Like I push my music myself because there's not much like I don't know, like I have to physically get to my performances, you know, but I can also have a live show and have people tune in to watch me perform my music. So that's what I think the biggest difference is, as far as like it's not easier to promote it, but you have more options of promoting your music. Like you can get it out a lot quicker instead of having to rely on one person. Now I can get on a hashtag, and every time somebody with the hashtag of hip hop blogger pops up and they post something, I can now contact that person like, hey, like, or if they're like, oh, this is a videographer right here. Every time the hashtag and they post up with that hashtag, now I can contact that person. So it's not about, oh, okay, I gotta book this hotel or, like go to this showcase, or it's not even like that. Like somebody could literally be in their own living room promoting their music to somebody that's like, I don't know, like in Italy, like I could be in America or I could be in France or anywhere and just contact anybody anywhere instead of having to spend that however much a flight would be to get there to present to you.
Mm.
Also, how did you find out about finality?
All right, it was a hashtag. It was a hashtag. So you guys
That's
do it.
amazing. You were just,
Awesome.
yeah, we're just talking about that. Yeah, the magic of the hashtag is a beautiful thing. So, with that said, what do you think is the most challenging aspects of the current state? I mean, other than the options, this it's an embarrassing amount of options that we have to get our stuff out there, and it makes it easier. But what are the challenges that you face now and for the future for your musical identity?
Um, for the identity, what do you mean? Like as far as like the branding of the music, or
I didn't want to say brand, but that was something I should have said. Yeah, the branding is always a big factor.
okay, as far as like the branding, I'll just focus on image for now, just for the first, like for the sake of this. It's kind of harder. Like it's a challenge because most audiences, especially in the US, if it's hip hop or like rap, they are used to seeing a certain type of persona and imagery. So like they are used to seeing like designer brands or bandanas of a certain color. Like they usually pick and choose based on what they already like. They don't really try to go with something new. So in order for like, I feel like in order for an artist to really like have a certain type of audience, they have to appeal to them, which isn't wrong. There's nothing wrong with that because that's what marketing is. You got to give your audience what they like. But as far as like bringing something new to the table, it takes longer for them to adapt to the difference or the changes because it's just, I don't know, it's just the way like most audiences are wired. Like a French audience or an African audience would be different than a US audience because I feel like America likes violent music more than anything else. So like I feel like it would take a different type of like person to really, not like, oh, you gotta be like this type of person, but like if you're already used to listening to like reggae music, it might be tougher for you to listen to mine because I'm not, relating the same message. That's what I think the real struggle is because I'm not really putting myself in a box as far as like how I market my image. Like if you see it, it's like it's literally almost the same every time, like if you really look at it. Plus you also need cosigns. You gotta post up with like a huge wad of cash half of the time for them to take you seriously. Like, right, that did not come from your catalog sales, but okay.
Here, some of those stacks are prop money. Like you can just go to propmoney.com and get realistic looking stacks. And I've always thought about doing that myself just for fun. Make a bet out of it or something.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, you got it. This is a fun time here with Tony Fresco. We are Finality Public Radio or FPR. And so this has just been a wild ride. We have a very eclectic mix of artists in our playlist, and it was such a great uh, surprise to get somebody who's really very inspiring with the music. Check out Uh, Boarding Pass is an amazing music video. It was released almost a year ago.
Yeah,
Um,
I actually edited that myself.
no way, that's awesome.
Yeah, I had a few
What?
stock clips in there because I couldn't. All right, so here's a funny story about that video. I'm so glad you brought it up. So everybody was trying to charge me so much after I released my The Coming video, which is the best shot one that I have. Like some I've actually submitted to like film festivals and they like still aired it because it's so well shot. And I feel like that's the only acting reel that I really have on the internet. But so after they saw that, everybody was trying to charge me upwards of like the fives, the 500s, even like close to like the thousands. So I was like, you know what, forget this. I put out an ad. I was looking for like a videographer, and all I did was ask him to give me the footage, to shoot the footage. I'll pay you like, like however much he wanted, I paid him. And he sent me his version of what he edited. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate it, but I'm not gonna use that one. I'm just gonna do something different. Even Speechless, like I edited my last two videos that I released because I don't know, I just didn't see the point of giving you so like not you, but giving somebody so much, and I could edit it myself. And me having to call in to tell you exactly what times in the video I need you to change what to what. So I was like, I might as well start editing myself. But I still try to find people to like video or not video, color graded. So at the moment, like I'm really trying to like not wear all the hats, but I'm trying to learn as much as possible for the long run. Cause I mean, like I don't do it to stroke my own ego. I just want to know, like if I hire somebody, like if I hire a PR company, you have to be able to write a better press pitch than I can. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I send out my own releases. Like I'm a dedicated artist. Like I'm a student of the game to the fullest.
Naturally, yeah, I notice I still just love going through your album covers. Like it clearly stands out from everyone else. Like so you did every single one of your album covers yourself, or do you
Every
have a
single
specific
cover
agent?
except for round four. And the only reason why I didn't do the round four cover was because my laptop crashed and I had literally 2 days to turn in the cover art for my distributor. So that's the only time I ever had a graphic designer. Besides, like, if I do a collaboration and I'm not the main artist on it, then I probably won't do the cover. But 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, I'm behind I'm behind the creative process in some sort of fashion.
Cool. So what's your relationship like with your distributor? Like so you get pressured by distributors to release stuff. Like are you on a specific label or
I
uh
am not I am not on a label, but I try to keep a good relationship with my distributor. So when I release something and I'm checking to see if it hits all the stores and I don't see it hit all the stores, I might shoot out an email to them like, hey, listen, like we put this out a month ago and it's still not popping up over here. But like at first it was kind of aggravating because they're based out in England, which is I use Root Note to distribute my music. And they're based out in England. So when I send the email, they'll usually be like, oh, we're closed at 4 p.m. So like, I was like, okay, like that's fine. But they're pretty good about responding and making sure that everything is pretty like smooth on my end and also on their end. But there is like a lot of like underlying terms and conditions that I really feel like might cause me to use a different distributor in the future. But as far as like being pressured to release, it's not really a pressure to release music. I'd prefer more of a demand. So if I see them streaming the music more often, then I'm more willing to release music. But if they're not, it's kind of like, it's kind of like economics, like you're not really going to put out a product if there's not any demand for it because it won't do as well in the market. But I still have to put out music for the sake of the digital streaming platforms themselves so I can get a more of a push than somebody who's not releasing as much because consistency is really what grows it. but it's kind of hard to be consistent if they're not really paying attention as far as like tuning in to what's already out. So I really spend more time looking for new fans, even though I try to keep my older fans, like I try to cater to them. But I don't know. It's kind of a complicated situation with the existing fans, especially like locally, because it's like literally I get way more like consistent streams from places I'm not from or where I have not been. So I feel like, I mean, it's not really a lose lose, like, because there is like a lot of upside to it.
Were you ever surprised by a certain region where your music has become, the numbers were spiking in a certain area that was like a surprise?
Yes. Hawaii. Yeah, that was recently. Like that was actually like last week. I seen a recent spike over there. Cause usually like it started to be more of a local thing, especially on my SoundCloud, because I try not to do any type of like paid advertising on my SoundCloud because I want to have some sort of organic data to retarget from when I do decide to do paid advertising. So like my YouTube pages, my Spotify, like I try to keep everything organic. So like if I'm running an ad, I usually create a super link. So that's like me retargeting where it came from organically to see if I can get more with paid advertising.
That's awesome. I noticed that you were accepting beats from anybody. If somebody's listening to this broadcast and they wanted to send you some beats, what would be the best way to send you some beats?
All right, so I would say you can DM it, you can email it, but like I said, you know, like if we're working, I like to have like a real communication system, and I like them to be involved in the release process also. You know, like I don't want to be the only one that's pushing the records because that's like, I mean, I respect the hard work of the beat itself, but it's been plenty of times where, you know, like a producer sends me a beat and, you know, like we good either way, but it's like you want me to do all the legwork to get the music out, but I would appreciate it if it was like a 50, well, 100 or 100% on both ends to get the record out. But it's not, it doesn't really work like that, I guess. But to send it, you know, DMs, you know, like if you can contact me any type of way, we can get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna listen to it either way.
So that's at it's Tony Fresco,
Yes, sir.
and yeah, if you just do a search on Tony Fresco, you're the first one that pops up. So uh, the one and the only. Um,
I don't know. It's a lot of. I'm trying to tell. Been a longer list at like since I graduated high school in 2011, and I took it seriously ever since then. I'm 29 now, so like the entire time I've been promoting it, I've seen more of them pop up. Like I've seen memes pop up of like Hispanic people, producers have made beats with the actual like album. They've dropped beat tapes with my name on the actual like album cover, with which would make it the album name. I'm like, whoa, man, like that's crazy, you know, like. But you know, I don't really want to complain about it because I guess that's what it comes with. I guess that's what it comes with. Even like producers, that's actually one of the reasons why I don't have that as my producer name. I do not produce music under Tony Fresco. I strictly release artist music. Like that's my artist name, like my musical artist name. That's what I release my music under. Another reason also is like I don't know. Like it's just I like multiple identities. Like kind of like a like you know, rest in peace. Kind of how like Mac Miller had Larry Fisherman as his producer name.
yeah.
You know, so it's like, I don't know, you know, like they gotta find that. The internet gotta find my producing catalog. You know, like they gotta find it like they found the music.
I feel that. Well, this has been a really great time. We are at the 4 minute mark, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. In terms of time remaining, uh, closing thoughts. Um, how are you feeling right now?
I mean, I don't know, like I'm trying to get the music out again. Like the pandemic really slowed down a lot for me, but I kept pushing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm still pushing it. Like I'm not complaining about anything, but I don't know where they went. It's a lot more to it than just the music. Like it's a lot more than just entertainment that goes behind releasing the music and remaining level headed enough to even be able to go out and do shows and put out these videos. Like if it was up to me, I would have way more content out. But it's up to the fans. They're the ones that make me who I am. So on my
You
end,
have oh yeah, from your end.
I'm feeling good. Like I feel much better. Like when the pandemic was still fresh, like it was a lot of, I don't know, it was a different aura in the air and it wasn't good. Like it had nothing to do with what I was doing, but I had to be able to read the times. But now it's a lot better. So hopefully they'll tune back in soon because I got a lot of content to release. Like I've still been creating, like I didn't stop because they stopped listening, but like they gotta build it back up.
That's right. We I know I'm a big fan, and I'm gonna keep tuning in, and hopefully we can exchange some merch sometime. Uh, do you like do you have any t-shirts or anything or?
Yes. Hold up one second. I actually might have one on. Hold up.
Oh, cool. We can get to see a t-shirt. Um, this has just been such a great interview.
This was one of the first ones. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, it's getting blurred out a little bit, but I can kind of see it.
Oh,
Oh, there
there
it
it
is.
is. Wow,
Yeah,
yeah, that
Nice.
looks amazing.
that's a
That
fairly
looks
odd
really
current
good.
theme with the Cosmo green and the Wanda pink. But I
Oh
have
man.
multiple. I try to use more of a print on demand type thing. So like I don't print the merch myself, but I try to find somebody that can make it a good side, like a good like. I don't want to just send anything out.
Hmm.
That's a great idea. Um, well, I think that in the last minute and a half that we have left, Mark, do you have any thoughts? Any
No,
uh
I'm very happy with with how the internet interview went. I think the audio at first was kind of messed up, but we can edit it a lot out, and it cleared up by 5 minutes in, so it should be okay. Um, but I think you're gonna get a lot of new fans from this. I think you're a fascinating artist, and I think that your career has a lot of potential in the future. So I think it's gonna be great.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, this is Tony Fresco. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you
thanks
for
a lot.
having me.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Till next time. Peace.
Peace. How fun.